Live from Liberty High School in Peoria, Arizona, the Arizona High School Football On-Demand video series on the IBN Sports Broadcasting Network presents the Liberty Lions against the Buckeye Hawks in a Class 4A Division II Skyline Region game that has playoff implications for both teams. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Liberty High. I'm Ken Tomash. A.J. Sturman and I will bring you the call of tonight's game. We're joining you a little bit earlier than normal tonight so that we can bring you coverage of the senior night festivities. Of course, Liberty is still a very young school. This is only the second senior class that they've ever had. So 21 young men will play their final regular season home game tonight in the black and red, and they'll be honored here along with their parents. And then the players and their dads will go into the locker room to experience those final minutes of the pregame preparation. And you got to imagine, AJ, that it's a big thrill both for the players and for their dads.
Absolutely.
He's not the best color guy in the business for nothing, folks. We're almost ready for the senior night festivities to begin. We'll also then later hear the Buckeye band, the Marching Hawks, will be on the field, and then we'll have our national anthem, and then we'll get going for real. But we're just about ready to start here with the senior night festivities. The class of 2011, 21 young football players who will play for the final time tonight for Coach Dan Filliman, along with their parents on the track. And so we'll turn it over now to the public address announcer here at Liberty High School, Adam West. Well, what a night here at Liberty High School in Peoria, Arizona. We're now just moments away from kickoff of this critical 4A Division II Skyline Region game between the Liberty Lions and the Buckeye Hawks. I'm Ken Tomash. My partner is A.J. Sturman. A.J., the Lions have won 18 consecutive regular season games, 19 of their last 20 overall. They're 8-0 this year, sitting at number 3 in the AIA's power rankings that determine playoff positions. But standing in the way of continuing their undefeated season is a Buckeye Hawks team that went 8-3 last year, and despite their 3-5 record this year, their power ranking is 17. They're just on the outside looking in, so they've got a lot of motivation tonight.
Absolutely, and this is a team that, in all honesty, is a lot better than their 3-5 record. This was a team that was 8-3 last year, and strangely enough, despite the fact that they're only 3-5 this year, they're outscoring opponents 183 to 145 this season, so they actually have a positive point differential right now. So this is a team that's a lot better than 3-5.
They have been in some very close games. They lost by a point to Peoria, and then they came within a missed two-point attempt of beating Desert Edge last week and lost 21-20. Or rather, that was 2 weeks ago. Last week, they took it out on Verado, beating them 54-6. We could be in for an exciting game tonight, but as for Liberty, the man to watch is junior quarterback Andre Gaddy, a triple threat. He's their leading passer and rusher, will sometimes catch passes as well and return kicks. He's got more than 1,600 yards in total offense through 8 games. He's got a lot of weapons at his disposal, AJ, but he's going to be the guy that starts everything.
Oh, absolutely. This is a guy that is a tremendous dual threat quarterback. He can run and he can pass. Quarterback rating of 132 this year. He's put up some big numbers, and he's averaging over 100 yards a game on the ground and 120 more through the air, scoring a lot of touchdowns this year. He's got 8 through the air and 10 on the ground. This guy is a weapon.
And they can do lots of things with him. They can run the option with him. He can turn it up. And we may also see his backup Tyler Rogers, who's actually started sometimes this year. They will not be afraid to put him in specific instances to just kind of change things up, but really, Gaddy is the man, and he's going to be a key guy tonight.
Yeah, limited action this year. Rogers has 8 touchdown passes as well, so he can definitely get it done, but it just shows you their depth, right, that he's backing up someone like Gaddy.
It's a change-up. He's the big prototypical drop-back quarterback. Brandon Grabowski set to kick off, and Paul Panaccione and Manny Noriega back deep, but they're not going to get a chance because this one is going to go out of bounds at the 30-yard line, and we're going to see if Coach Dan Filliman wants to have them re-kick that, or he may just take it where it goes out. That's probably the best place to do it. Looks like it's at about the 30, so that's where the Liberty Lions will set up shop. It's senior night here at Liberty. We told you Andre Gaddy is the quarterback. Ryan Benedict and Eric Thomas, the normal starters in the backfield. Thomas is back there right now, and the offensive lineman, Travis Seafelt, Chris Bonity, Donnie Shields, Connor Sterrett, Stephen Rakowski. Bonity and Shields, the only juniors. Shields back in there after rupturing his appendix several weeks ago. It caused him to miss some time. But on 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line, Here we see Andre Gaddy rolling to his left, throwing quickly, and it is complete to Cody Golita. And Golita's out across the 40 to the 41 for a gain of about 6.
Gaddy off to a quick start, coming out of the pocket and throwing across his body there with a nice toss, getting it going right away. And this team just has such a plethora of guys they can go to. Several great receivers, and Thomas has put up a lot of yards. The guy averages 8 yards a carry.
A defensive line for Buckeye: Trey Brown, Daniel Morales, Nathan Wynn, and Hunter King, seniors all. And they're going to be trying to get to Mr. Gaddy tonight. Gaddy throws that one quick, and it is off the hands of Manny Noriega out in the right flat. So it'll bring up a 3rd and 4 now, and this is a key situation for Buckeye. If they can force a punt, rather, on this formidable Liberty offense, that'll be a nice feather in their cap and give them some confidence in the early going.
Absolutely. The thing that'll be interesting to watch is the battle with the lines, because Liberty, despite being undefeated, has a somewhat small line. There are a couple guys on there that only weigh right around 200 pounds, so it's not a huge group up front, so it'll be interesting to see if the defense can get any penetration and bother Gaddy.
Watch number 42, Dustin Grabowski, the middle linebacker. There is a fumble, and it looks like Buckeye has recovered. They have. It's Cody Bostic. Cody Bostic had that one fall right into his lap. The 5'8" senior recovers the turnover, and Buckeyes got the ball in Liberty territory on their first possession.
Bostic definitely in the right place at the right time there. That was unbelievable. He just found himself in the perfect spot. Something went wrong with that pitch, and he just was in perfect place to intercept it.
Bostic will stay in there now, as a lot of the Hawks do double duty. They're kind of thin in numbers, especially on the line, so a lot of guys go both ways. Cody Bostic will be in the backfield, but their key man in the backfield is number 1 in junior Tari Jones. Jones has 660 yards on the ground, and the quarterback is Alex Alvarez, the first-year starter, but they direct snap it to Jones. Jones spins, and he's probably brought down now at the 30 after a gain of about 3 and maybe more, because we've got a flag down at the end of that play. Jones took that direct snap, AJ. They were experimenting with him at the quarterback position earlier this year before finally deciding that really didn't work out.
Yeah, this guy's he's exceptionally gifted. He's a great runner. Like you said, he's got over 600 yards this season, and he's got 6 touchdowns to go along with it. He can catch the ball, too. He's only caught it 3 times this year, but he's averaging over 30 yards a catch. But you're right. The situation with him at quarterback just did not work. He couldn't really adapt to the position, throwing a couple interceptions.
It's a horse collar tackle. So says referee Wally Zielinski. So it's first down for the Hawks at the 15-yard line. And bursting through to make the stop, a name we're going to be calling quite a bit tonight. It's Austin Haskett, one of those 21 seniors who was honored at halftime. He is their leading tackler with 102 and now 103 stops. And he actually looks like he pushed the running back to outside the 20 to the 21. So it's going to be second and about 15. And again, we see Jones, Alvarez, who had a tremendous game throwing the ball last week with 4 touchdowns, not starting. Tari Jones is. He takes the direct snap. Now he heads around the left end and somersaults inside the 20, close to the original line of scrimmage, but it's going to be a 3rd and long for the Hawks.
I'm not sure I completely follow right now what Coach Bobby Barnes is doing, because like you said, last week was maybe the best game Alex Alvarez has played in his career. He threw for 280 yards and 4 scores on 9 of 14 passing. He was incredibly efficient, and they won by 48 points.
Well, there's always the element of surprise. Possibly. Coach Barnes, when I talked to him yesterday, seemed to gush about Alex Alvarez, but let's see what Tari Jones can do. Maybe he has a changeup. Again with a direct snap, and he's going to be brought down at about the 15, so maybe an overall gain of about 1 on those 3 plays. And it's going to be 4th down, and we'll see if Coach Barnes elects to go for it looks like they're going to go for a field goal. And we'll see. Brandon Grabowski, he's the younger brother of the middle linebacker, Dustin Grabowski. This will be a 31-yard attempt to try to put Buckeye on the board first at Liberty. High snap, put down, and that's going nowhere. I'm not sure if that was tipped at the line or not. He had the distance, actually. It got to the end line, but it was well off the mark. And so after the turnover, Buckeye unable to cash in, and Liberty breathes a sigh of relief.
Yeah, that's something that could come back to haunt Buckeye. They were able to force the turnover, and on the road against an undefeated team, it's crucial to get off to a hot start. So putting points up there definitely would have given them some momentum.
But at least they have Buckeye, or they have Liberty back inside, right at their own 20-yard line, actually, where they return it after the missed field goal. Ryan Benedict in the backfield with Andre Gaddy, and we'll see if the Lions hold on to the football a little bit better than they did on their first possession. Gaddy pulls it out of the running back's belly, takes it himself, and around the left side, and he's going to be out of bounds at about the 32-yard line for a gain of 12 and a first down. And there you see the elusiveness of Andre Gaddy.
Oh, absolutely. He definitely made some guys miss there. Picked up a first down for them. Tremendous run by the quarterback. He can definitely get outside and pick up some yardage on the ground.
He is their leading rusher, 723 yards coming in, and a nice 6.6 yard average.
That results in a first down and 10 for the Lions.
And 10 touchdowns. Now he'll send 2 wide receivers wide to the right. Paul Panaccione is one. Brandon Croteau is the wide man to the top of your screen. Gaddy fumbles the snap, decides I'm just going to take it myself. Bounces off a tackler and pushes ahead to the 35-yard line for a gain of about 3. He really made something out of nothing.
I was going to say that was a pretty impressive gain of 3. It won't look like much in the stat sheet, but that was a broken play that he made something happen.
2 on the play, bring up a second down and 8.
Call it 2. It's second and a long 8. Third and a long 8 right now. We got second down. Second and a long 8. Gaddy with Ryan Benedict in the backfield and 2 wide receivers to either side. He will give it to Benedict, and Benedict again bounces off a tackler, and he's finally spun down very close to the first down marker. I think he may have the yardage.
23, Ryan Benedict on a carry.
Cody Bostic, the man who recovered the fumble on the first series, makes the stop, and it appears as though, it's going to be very close. Too close to call right now. Wally Zielinski and crew are going to eyeball it, call it first down.
That is good enough.
So keeping it on the ground, the Liberty Lions able to pick up a couple of first downs. Now to the 42-yard line with 8:20 to go in the first quarter and no score on the senior night game. Final home game of the regular season for the undefeated Liberty Lions. Again, 4 wide and 1 man in the backfield. Gaddy fakes inside, throws it down the middle to Panaccione. It's a foot race. Paul Panaccione is going to go the distance, 58-yard touchdown.
Caught the safety flat-footed and just ran right by him.
So now we've seen how Andre Gaddy can get it done with his legs and with his arm. That's Gaddy's 9th touchdown pass of the year. And Connor McCray will try to make it 7-0. McCray hits his 44th point after of the year. And with 8 minutes and 2 seconds to go in the first quarter, it's Liberty 7 and Buckeye nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the football team and the Spirit Line will be in studio for Friday Night Lights tonight on Channel 12 at 11:37. Be sure to check them out.
Well, Panaccione is their leading receiver with 23 catches coming in and a gaudy 21 yards a catch average. That one will bolster those stats just a little bit. His 9th touchdown catch of the year.
Congratulations to the Liberty boys golf team on a fantastic season.
And he's just a junior, and he gets the first score of the night on senior night.
Yeah, averaging 21 yards a catch. Those numbers will only go up, putting up a 58-yard score here. And a quick strike for Liberty.
So now Connor McCray, who kicked the point after, will kick off, and Tari Jones is back deep along with Yogi Hale. The 2 of their all-purpose backs.
Number 20, Yogi Hale, and number 1, Tari Jones.
Tari Jones actually opened this game at quarterback, and we'll see on the second series, AJ, if they do go back to Alex Alvarez, if that was just an opening series gambit by Coach Bobby Barnes. McCray chips it over the front wall. It's an onside kick, and it's recovered. Little trickery, and Marcus Pollard, honored before the game on senior night, was right there. They caught Buckeye unaware, and Pollard comes up with the onside kick, so 1st and 10 at the 35.
Credit to Connor McCray. He placed that absolutely perfectly. There was nobody in sight for Buckeye, and it was an easy pickup. So Liberty will get the ball once again.
So now that Buckeye defense has been on the field a lot here in the first quarter.
Absolutely.
Their offense picked up a first down on penalty and then missed a field goal attempt after a turnover. First and 10 from the Buckeye 35. The Lions in all black with red trim and the Hawks in the white jerseys and blue pants. We've got 7:58 to go in the first quarter. And I think Liberty may have taken a little too much time, but we've got a flag that indicates a legal procedure call, actually, so that'll back them up 5. Second penalty of the first quarter on Liberty. They had a horse collar tackle in the first possession by Buckeye, so Dan Philliman's going to be unhappy to see sloppiness by his crew at this stage. Gaddy now checks the play on his wrist. And again from the spread on 1st and 15 from the 40-yard line of the Hawks. Gaddy again fakes to the back. He's got pressure. Throws it to the outside. It is caught. Panachone darts inside and gets down to the 30. So he got 10 yards back, but it'll still be 2nd and 5.
Gaddy makes an excellent completion there and is able to get the ball in there despite the fact that he knows he's about to take a hit from Cody Bostic. He stands in and makes the completion anyway.
Very savvy, very aware junior quarterback Andre Gaddy, bothered earlier in the season by a bit of a hamstring pull. Doesn't seem to be showing any effects of that.
No, he's got everything under control right now.
Early going. They'll send 3 receivers to the left side. And Croteau, Panachone, and Noriega, who will take the... Gaddy will give it inside. Bursting up the middle. And finally knocked down is Eric Thomas inside the 5, 1st and goal. Eric Thomas, an outstanding player. He's their 3rd leading rusher, but he averages 8 yards a carry. He's got 8 touchdowns. He's close to the 500-yard mark. He gets a big gain there down to the 3-yard line and sets up the Lions with a 1st and goal with 7 minutes to play in the first.
It's no wonder this team averages 41 points a game. You can see how high-powered their offense is, and they can just beat you with so many different people.
Well, Buckeye takes a timeout as they understand the gravity of the situation here, as they're already down 7-0 against an undefeated team that's ranked 3rd in the power rankings. And they know that they're at number 17, so they're just on the outside. The top 16 ranked teams in the AIA power rankings will make the 4A Division II playoffs, and Buckeye needs a result, whether it comes here tonight at Liberty or next week at Yunker. If they want to get into the postseason again, they need to get something going. So they're going to make sure they're all on the same page here. Bobby Barnes takes his first time out with 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. Ken Tomash and AJ Sturman with you. You're watching the Arizona High School Football On-Demand video series on the IBN Sports Broadcasting Network. It's senior night. It's a warm night for very late October, Halloween weekend. Game time temperature in the high 80s, about 89 degrees. And Dan Philliman wearing the shorts on this warm evening. He's looking at a 1st and goal from the 3-yard line with 7 minutes to go in the first quarter, already leading 7-0. Again, 4 wide receivers, 2 on each side. Thomas is the lone back, and they jumped. This will actually give them a little bit more room to work with, but again, troubling for any coach to see those types of penalties.
3 penalties in the first 5 minutes, and you can't believe the coaching staff is going to be happy with the way they're starting in some aspects, despite the fact that they already have 7 points on the board and conceivably more coming.
Back to the 8. Again, 1st and goal. Same formation. Cody Galita is the wide out to the left side with Manny Noriega in the slot. Panachone and Croteau are the wide receivers to the right side. Gaddy tries to slip through. Ball is out. Scramble for it. It looks like they got it back. That would be Gaddy's 2nd fumble of the first quarter.
Yeah, that would have been a costly turnover down in the red zone, but it looks like they hold on to the ball.
So gain of 4. 2nd and goal from the 4. Again, they go with 4 wideouts. And Eric Thomas in there with Gaddy. Gaddy takes it up the middle. He's close. His legs are still churning. And the Hawks think they stopped him, and it looks like they did. Very close, but it's going to be 3rd and goal.
I thought for a second he was just going to keep powering into the end zone. He came close, though.
Again, only 5'9" and 175 pounds. And finally, the anticlimactic touchdown call, as Gaddy must have been at the bottom of that pile with the ball over the goal line. And so Liberty has scored again. Gaddy with a 4-yard touchdown run.
Big start to this game for Gaddy. Just under 6 minutes in, and he's already taken one in on the ground and thrown for one through the air. Continuing to pile up the numbers, and he now has 20 total touchdowns this season.
And McCray adds the extra point, and with 6 minutes and 18 seconds to play in the first quarter from Liberty High School in Peoria, Arizona, the hometown Liberty Lions lead the Buckeye Hawks by a score of 14-0. Let's take a look at the results this year for Liberty. They haven't had too many close games. Their season opener, which we broadcast here on IBN Sports, was a 24-23 win over their arch rivals from down the street at Sunrise Mountain. But since then, they beat Independence 55-6, beat Higley 34-20, Glendale 52-0, Thunderbird 42-32, Verado 42-0 in a game we had for you here a few weeks ago. Went to Younger and won 48-21, and then last week beat Mingus 34-20, and they're already up 14-0 here. And you got to believe, AJ, that you see the Hawks moving up a little bit, saying you're not going to catch me twice on that onside kick.
Yeah, they're not going to be fooled for a second time on that, you would hope.
McCray, they'll fake it. Now they'll drop back, and so will the Hawks. Again, it's Tari Jones and Yogi Hale. Hale is number 20, Jones is number 1. And it's been a while since they had their offense out of the field. McCray will boot it deep. That one may reach the end zone, and it does. Yogi Hale grabs it there, but he's going to have to stay on the field to play offense. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line for the Hawks, who trail it 14-0, and they've really only run a few plays from scrimmage.
Yeah, their offense really hasn't gotten a chance to show what they can do too much.
And now Alex Alvarez is going onto the field and into the huddle. The 6'2", 185-pound junior quarterback. AJ told you he had a fine game a week ago in a 54-6 win over the Verado Vipers. He went 9 of 14 for 283 yards and 4 scores. First year as a starter for the Hawks. Now he's in the spread. Fake to the man in motion and give it inside to Cody Bostic, and Bostic actually has a decent gain up to about the 26 for a gain of about 6. And they'll go quickly with no huddle.
The 35, Cody Bostic on the carry, jacked by number 42, Ben Cullis.
2nd and 4 now from the 26, and flags fly again.
Ladies and gentlemen,
that's going to be an offside call on Liberty. So that'll get them very close.
Your lights are on.
Actually, it will get them a first down.
Another penalty.
We'll get any closer than that.
Another penalty against Liberty. They're 4th in just 6 minutes of action.
Plate number is FF1355. Subaru Outback. Your lights are on in the parking lot.
So 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line now for the Hawks. Alvarez in the shotgun. He's got 2 wide receivers to either side. Hale in motion, and again they fake the give to the motion man and give it to Bostic, and Bostic is dumped straight away.
Brought down by number 35.
Big loss on the play, and Austin Haskett again with a stop. Hawks get right back up. They don't give Liberty a chance to substitute much. 2nd and 12 after the loss of 2. Now from the 30-yard line. Alvarez now, his first passing attempt. Nice bullet throw across the middle, and it bounces off the receiver because Liberty's Cardi Galito is there to put the big hit on the receiver, Jason Bell. Break that one up and make it 3rd and long. Jason Bell is a player that Coach Barnes said he's just so good we cannot keep him off the offensive side of the field. They're starting strong safety, but he's got so much skill offensively that they've got to play him at receiver. And he goes wide to the top of the screen. 3 other wideouts come to the bottom of your screen. Alex Alvarez again in the shotgun on 3rd and 12 from the 30. Drops back quickly, gets some pressure, and he's going to be dropped. We've got a flag down.
Number 7, Alex Alvarez dropped for a loss on the play.
David Barlow got in there for the sack.
By number 61, David
and
Barlow.
we'll check the flag.
Bring up a 4th down.
And it's going to be a punting situation for Buckeye.
Yeah, excellent penetration by Liberty there. They got through and didn't really give Alvarez a chance to set his feet and find a receiver.
They're going to wave off the flag. Could have been dropped for what could have happened on that. It could have been an offensive interference call, but there's no, if the ball is never thrown.
Right.
Could very well just pick that flag up. We'll never know. It's 4th down and about 18. And Brandon Grabowski into punt. Paul Panachone standing at his own 45. He does have a punt return touchdown this year. Got one to start their big win over Verrado earlier this month. And Buckeye's hoping that he does not get this football in his hands.
Number 4, Paul Panachone back to receive the punt.
Grabowski, a high punt. Panachone under it at his own 47. Picks out a lane. Tries to juke past the man. Still a very nice return.
Panachone returns ball to the Buckeye 35.
But Dustin Grabowski, older brother of the punter, makes the stop on Panachone, who still takes it down inside. Well, looks like inside the Buckeye 35, where it'll be 1st down for Liberty. And neither of these two teams huddle, AJ. You know, Dan Philemon said earlier in the year, I wouldn't know what to do if we huddled.
Yeah.
So he doesn't huddle. And Bobby Barnes, they're not huddling. So it's rapid-fire football for you here on a Friday night. Andre Gaddy has 5 potential receivers here. But he will hand it off to Ryan Benedict, or he'll fake the handoff and then take it himself up the middle. And he's hit hard by a host of Hawks. One of them, Yogi Hale, came out of there with the football, but it had been blown dead. Gain of about 2 for Gaddy, and got a flag thrown high in the air between plays, and that usually means that someone may have had either an unsportsmanlike conduct. Somebody said something they shouldn't have said. Wait and see how they sort this out. Wally Zielinski, yes, unsportsmanlike conduct on Liberty and unsportsmanlike conduct on the Hawks as well.
Offsetting unsportsmanlike penalty calls against both teams.
Now, before you think that there's no real penalty there, both of those players are now on notice because 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties in a game get you thrown out.
Right. Yeah, I'm assuming just some jawing between the players between plays.
Seemed like.
Yeah.
Gaddy now on 2nd and 8 from the 33. His team already leads 14-0. This time he'll throw it out to Noriega. Noriega is wrapped up and taken down out of bounds at the 31. Tari Jones, the star running back we told you about, and the starting free safety, makes the stop on the diminutive Noriega, and he's out at the 29. That's actually, may have lost a couple of yards. And it will be 3rd and about 6. Clock running. Actually, clock stopped on the out-of-bounds play. 3:29 to play, first quarter.
The Buckeye defense looks much more impressive this series. They've held them well, despite the fact that they're playing on a short field here.
Gaddy now fakes it, takes it himself, gets to the outside, gets a block, and will have the 1st down.
Gaddy on the carry.
Nice tackle there by Gino Waddell, another one of those two-way players. He's the starting cornerback on that side. He made the stop, but not before Gaddy was able to get across the line to gain. It'll be 1st down at the 24.
Yeah, that was a big tackle by Waddell. If he doesn't make that stop, Gaddy could be gone, no question. Now
Liberty will send 3 receivers to the left side. Cody Gaulita, the only man to the right. And Gaddy again rolling to his left. Throws it. It's picked off by Tardy Jones.
Gaddy pass intercepted by number 1, Tardy.
Yeah, trying to thread that one in there. That was a dangerous pass into multiple man coverage.
Jones showing some good instincts. We know he can play offense. He's got good running the ball instincts, but sniffed that play out, and from his free safety position, made the interception. Second turnover of the first quarter for Liberty. And even though the Hawks are backed up inside their own 15, they've got the football again.
Yeah, let's see if they can take advantage of this turnover, because we know how the last one turned out, the botched field goal.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line of Buckeye. And the Liberty defense back out on the field, led by Alex Smith, Jared Johnston up front. The linebackers Blake Cochran, Ben Kulos, Tanner Knipe, Austin Haskett, and Manny Noriega. Seem to be taking quite a bit of time getting things sorted here, and I think the officiating crew is making sure of something.
Not sure what it would be in this case, but
in any case, it's first down for the Hawks from their own 14-yard line. They trail it 14-0 with 3:16 to go in the first quarter. It's senior night here at Liberty High. Alex Alvarez again in the shotgun. He's got 2 wide receivers to either side. He tries to draw Liberty offside, and he may have succeeded, and he did.
I'm losing track of the penalties against Liberty here so far. There have been at least 5 or 6 now.
Sloppy first period here, even though Liberty leads at 14-0. It's the little things that drive coaches crazy sometimes. It'll be 1st and 5. So much more comfortable situation. Jones is back in now at the quarterback position. No, it's Alvarez, 7 instead of 1, and the give off inside to Cody Bostic, and Bostic has the first down out to the 25-yard line, or just short of it.
Number 35, Austin Haskett.
Now Alvarez will depart, and they will put Tardy Jones back there, unless Alvarez is just getting the play. It looks like he's actually going to come off for a play, and Tardy Jones is going to run things. Jones has Yogi Hale in the backfield with him, but I don't know if anybody else is going to touch the football. They will toss it back. And that is Hale with a short gain out across the 25 to about the 26, maybe the 27. It'll be 2nd and long.
It'll be interesting to see how Coach Barnes uses Hale tonight, because he's another one of those guys he's a good multi-purpose guy. He's got 300 yards rushing, 200 on the 200 receiving, and he can hurt you in a couple different ways. It's the first time we've really seen him involved here tonight with the offense doing much.
Now he's out as one of 2 men in the slot, along with Marcus Bratton, as they got 3 wide receivers to the right, and Tardy Jones again will take the quarterback draw to the 30. Leg still churning as he spins out of a tackle, gets away from one man, and is finally out of bounds with another first down for the Hawks.
Impressive run by Jones. It looked like that play was well over, and he just kept moving and picked up extra yardage in the first down.
Not much of a threat to throw, as we told you. Completed less than 50% of the passes that he's thrown in limited action from the quarterback spot with 3 interceptions, but he is oh so dangerous with his legs.
Typically don't see quarterbacks playing with 2 receiver gloves on.
Yeah, that's true. Try to do Kurt Warner one better. Jones fakes it, then gives up the middle to Bostic.
35, Cody Bostic on the carry.
And Bostic gains maybe a yard and a half.
Brought down by number 5.
Looks like it's out to about the 43-yard line, where it'll be 2nd and about 8.
Pick up 2 on the play. We're going to be 2nd down and 8 for Buckeye.
We're under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter now. And we've got Wally Zielinski taking an official's timeout. Maybe a player. Oh, he's okay now. Momentary pause in the festivities, and here we go. 2nd and 8 from the 43. Gino Waddell comes wide here to the near side. 2 receivers in the slot. 1 man wide up top. They may just be window dressing. Jones again on the quarterback draw. Across the 45. Still churning, still pushing. That pile is moving. And finally, the whistles blow and he's out to the 50-yard line.
Most of Liberty tacklers on that play.
This is interesting because I thought Jones would play the quarterback position for maybe a play or two, but it seems like they're sticking with him now. Alvarez opened the drive, and now they've gone back to Jones with this kind of option-style offense, trying to generate some yardage through the ground.
And now Jones departs, and Alvarez goes back in. So, again, Bobby Barnes being very deceptive. Throwing a change up here at the Liberty.
Yeah, trying to keep the Liberty defense off balance.
So 3rd and 1. This should be the final play of the first quarter. We're close to it. Alvarez on the draw. Bostic, he's very close. And I think both wing officials are coming in saying he's short. And that should do it for the first quarter. But Bobby Barnes is going to have a decision to make here on what looks like 4th and very short, depending on the spot. They're going to eyeball it, and, well, can call timeout. They're going to get the measurement in first before the quarter comes to an end. Probably the prudent way to do it.
This one's going to be real close.
I know players standing in the way, so
I think it's just short.
Appears as though they're just short. So Buckeye will begin the second quarter looking at a 4th and inches, trailing 14-0. We'll be back. You're watching Arizona High School Football On-Demand Video Series on the IBN Sports Broadcasting Network. Second quarter begins here at Liberty High School in Peoria, Arizona. Ken Tomash and AJ Sturman with you on the Arizona High School Football On-Demand Video Series on the IBN Sports Broadcasting Network. Whether you're watching us live anywhere in the world right now or on demand, we welcome you to a critical point in this game where Buckeye in white trails 14-0 here as we begin the second quarter, but they've got a 4th and inches just on the Liberty side of midfield. And Tari Jones looks like he's going to be the man to trigger the attack. Again, he only needs a couple of inches. And you'd have to think that everybody in this building expects Jones to take the snap from center and push forward, and he will, and he's got the first down, but that play was blown dead before, and the Hawks are going to be called for offside, so they take a 4th and inches and make it into a 4th and 5.
Yeah, you got to believe punting is now under consideration, certainly, for this team. Jones gets plenty on the carry, but one of his linemen just was a little too eager.
Well, we've tried to figure out what Bobby Barnes is going to do, and I think we've learned that maybe that's not for us to say, but now it does look like the punt team is going to come on. You never know. They have a chance here if Brandon Grabowski can pin them deep, then maybe they can get a little field position out of the exchange if their defense can force another turnover on downs.
Yeah, the defense for Buckeyes looked good, forcing some turnovers, and they've done well with limited field position.
Grabowski again puts it high. Panachone waits, gets it at his own 19-yard line. Now he starts upfield. Gets a block, cuts inside, and he's brought down at the 35, so they didn't pin him quite as deep as they probably would have liked to, but now it's up to the defense.
Panachone has had good returns on 2 straight punts, going for about 15 to 18 yards both times. Just getting upfield and, like you said, improving that starting position a little bit.
Dustin Grabowski again on the tackle for the 2nd straight punt. And he'll be in there now as the middle linebacker. their leading tackler, on 1st and 10 from the 35 for the Liberty Lions, who lead it 14-0. We're just underway in the second quarter. Andre Gaddy will have 3 receivers to his right, and 1 Brandon Croteau to the left at the top of your screen. Gaddy now maybe changing the play at the line. Give it to Thomas. A nice tackle made there by Ricky Higuera.
Number 21, Eric Thomas on that carry.
Higuera, their 3rd leading tackler, but everybody's playing for 2nd place on Buckeye and the tackling stats, as Dustin Grabowski led him coming in with 71, and the next closest guy had 28. He makes every play, except that one by Higuera. Gain of 3 now. 2nd and 7, and the clock moving with 11:09 to go in the first half. Gaddy with a long count, maybe too long. And it is. It'll be a delay penalty on Liberty. Now, before the game, the 21 Liberty seniors were honored, and their dads got to go in the locker room with them for the final few minutes of pregame preparation. And I think a lot of those dads are in the stands now wondering if they had something to do with it, if they were an unlucky charm that has resulted in the...
I don't know if they'll want to be in there at halftime with the way they're racking up penalties.
I would think not. 2nd and 12 now as Gaddy darts up the middle. And he's going to be pushed back there. Nathan Wynn on the stop.
By number 2, Jason Bell.
Jason Bell finished him off. And he's out to about the 37-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and about 8. Big play for both teams. Liberty needs to maintain momentum, and Buckeye could use a stop here.
7 short 8 for the Lions.
3rd and 8. Gaddy again. This time he'll throw it up top to Haskett. Haskett makes the catch. 1st down, and he's going to drag a defender down inside the 25, and a flag down that may tack some more yardage onto the end of it. Austin Haskett.
Brought down by number 2, Jason Bell.
Ostensibly a tight end when he's not playing linebacker.
Yeah, that's his main position. He's done a great job, over 100 tackles this year on the defensive side of the ball. They use him as a tight end, but don't really throw to him much.
They did there, and the face mask penalty will tack more yardage onto the end of it from the 25. It'll be half the distance, and Liberty comes up with a big play in a key situation. And now they want to finish it off. We've got a timeout on the field. Not quite sure who called it. An official spot will be at between the 11 and 12-yard line. We'll call it the 11. It'll be 1st and 10, and the Lions will be able to get a 1st down without scoring the touchdown, and it was Buckeyes' 2nd timeout of the first half. We mentioned some close games that the Hawks have been in this year. Lost the season opener at Peoria 10-9, and a 21-20 loss at home to Desert Edge 2 weeks ago. And they've had a couple of blowout wins. They've really been in almost every game at halftime, either leading or within a touchdown or so. And Coach Bobby Barnes says the lack of depth is what really has hurt them in the second half of games. They've just worn down. They have so many guys playing both ways that, especially early in the season when game time temperatures can be well over 100 degrees on the field, they just wear down.
Yeah, it's been a surprising start for Buckeye in this game, considering the way they played last Friday night, beating a Verado team 54-6, their most dominating performance of the season, but they're struggling right now. This offensive attack has just been too much so far from Liberty.
They're up against it here. 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line for Liberty. Gaddy again darts up the middle. Breaks through the arm tackle of Jason Bell and gets down inside the 5 to the 4, where it'll be 2nd down and about 3. Clock running, 10:07 to play in the first half. The Lions are looking to add to a 14-0 lead. And like they do, they go without a huddle. 2nd and 3 from the 4-yard line. Gaddy will give it to Thomas, and Thomas bursts through for the touchdown. Liberty leads it 20-0. And a flag at the end of the play. It should be a dead ball foul. It shouldn't take the touchdown off the board. It is a personal foul on the Hawks, and Liberty will have the option of having that assessed on the kickoff, and so Connor McCray will be out for his 3rd point after attempt of the first half. And looking for his 46th point after of the season, out of the hole to Paul Panaccione. McCray's point after is true, and with 9:41 to play in the first half, it's Liberty 21 and Buckeye nothing. Eric Thomas gets his 9th touchdown rushing of the campaign.
9:41 left in the 2nd quarter. The score: Liberty Lions 21, Buckeye Hawks 0.
We told you, AJ, how critical this game is for Buckeye. I mean, obviously, if you're Liberty, you'd like to keep your undefeated season going, but you're 3rd in the power rankings, where Buckeye is number 17 coming in, just on the outside of the potential 16-team field. So they can't afford to get blown out here tonight and then have it come down to next week's game at Yunker if they're needing perhaps a win or a big win to potentially get into the postseason.
Absolutely, you're right. After this week, like you said, they only have 1 game left in the season, and they're just outside of it right now. So they're going to need to either turn it on here in the second half, or they could be looking at a really big win needed next week if they continue playing like they have through the first quarter and a bit here tonight.
So the personal foul penalty that was tacked on after the touchdown run brings Connor McCray out to kick off from the Buckeye 45, and so he could either drill it right out of the end zone, as he can do, or pooch it. And that time it is caught at the 30.
Onside kick is
and Oscar Ramos.
Oscar Ramos for Buckeye.
The big fella gets to rumble with a football for a rare time in a lineman's career, and he brings that one out to the 35-yard line. 1st and 10 for Buckeye. They trail 21-0 on the road here.
I was kind of hoping to see if McCray would just try and put one through the uprights.
Well, if he had, they'd have been at the 20 instead of the 35, but there's always a chance if you can get it over that first line, either you can recover the ball, or maybe one of those linemen who's not used to handling the football will drop it on the ground.
Executed it so well earlier in the game.
Alex Alvarez back in at quarterback. The right-hander drops and throws, complete. They run the hook and lateral. The hook and ladder. And Tari Jones has the first down. It was complete to Jason Bell. Bell flipped it to Jones, and Jones has a first down to the 42-yard line of Liberty. Bobby Barnes has a lot in his bag of tricks, doesn't he?
A little bit of razzle-dazzle there from Buckeye. We'll see if this gets their offense going, because they've been pretty stagnant so far in this game. This could spark them to life. They have really not done much through the air, keeping their attack mostly to the ground to this point.
First down officially at the 43-yard line of Liberty. Alvarez will flip that one out. They're trying again with a trickeration. That one's batted out of the air, and it's caught by Cody Bostic. They flipped it to Yogi Hale. Hale looked to throw, and then he finally did throw it, but to the other side of the field. It looked like he was trying to get it back to Alex Alvarez. We've got a flag down.
That was one of the more interesting 1-yard plays I think I've seen.
All right, Wally Zielinski is going to look. It is an illegal forward pass. The initial pass by Alex Alvarez, I thought there was a chance it could be, was forward, meaning that Yogi Hale couldn't throw the football legally. Yet he did, so that is a big one. Not only is it an illegal forward pass, have a yardage attacked onto it, but it's a loss of down foul. So going to the well twice on back-to-back plays. The second one not executed quite as well as the first.
Liberty was expecting something, I guess, along those lines there, because they sniffed that one out, and Hale originally looking to throw downfield, and there was nobody down there, and the play just ends up being a broken one. And that is a costly yardage penalty.
Back to the 45-yard line on their side of the field, so the Hawks will have second down and 22. Again, 4 receivers. Alvarez in the shotgun. Looks off his primary receiver. The catch is made, and now you see why they can't keep Jason Bell off the field on the offensive side, as he leaped way up to make that catch. He's a 6-footer, and he skied in the air, but he came down hard. They have taken a helmet in the back.
He's up and walking, but he was, I think it might have been one of his legs there at first, because he definitely took a hard hit from behind as he leapt up to make that catch, and he'll come off.
And now it's going to be another penalty on Liberty that's going to push them back, a roughing the passer call. So the completed pass, and then the 15 will be tacked onto it. It should give Buckeye a first down, and will down inside the 31. Call it the 31. 1st and 10. So by hook or by crook, the Hawks are moving the football, trailing 21-0 with 8:52 to go in the first half.
Back-to-back penalties there, one for each side, that end up to some degree offsetting each other in terms of yardage, but are both pretty costly for their teams.
First down, 31-yard line. Buckeye Hawks on the move. They'll fake that one and turn around and give it up inside. Bursting up the middle is Cody Bostic, and he was an arm tackle away from going the distance. Bostic with a big gain. We told you he was their second leading rusher coming in, averaging almost 7 yards an attempt.
Seems to be getting a lion's share of the carry so far in this game. They've used Tari Jones quite a bit, but more out of a direct snap formation than as an actual running back.
Now Alvarez will go under center on first down from the 19-yard line. Alvarez looks to throw quickly again, gets it out to the right side. It's complete. It's a backward pass to Gino Waddell, and Waddell's going to be dumped as the Liberty Lions read that play well.
Nice open field tackle by number 20, Jordan Key on that
and
play.
Jordan Key makes the stop for a loss of 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 12.
Liberty's got to watch their tackling. It looked like they had a couple guys coming in, maybe just a split second late on that one after the play was completed. So they're going to have to make sure not to pick up any unnecessary roughness type fouls, because, like we've said a couple times, they haven't looked terribly disciplined here in this first half despite the score.
7:37 to go, first half. Clock moving. Loss of 2, 2nd and 12 from the 21. Tari Jones goes in motion. They fake it to him and give it back inside to Bostic, and Bostic barrels down close to the 16-yard line.
Brought down by number 35, Austin Haskins.
So it'll be 3rd down. And about 7.
Pick up a couple on the play, bring up a 3rd and 7 for the Hawks.
Key play here as Hawks want to get some points on the board. And they had no success with their field goal unit on their first possession. It's Tari Jones again. He'll take the direct snap. He's got 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. Fakes the throw, takes it up inside. He's going to be stacked up short of the first down, but a flag comes flying out of the defensive backfield, so hold everything. Jones did not get the first down, but if the Hawks are the beneficiaries of another Liberty penalty, as they're motioning that they are.
Number 35, Austin Haskett in on that play.
It's a face mask on the Lions.
Indication is face mask against the Lions on that penalty as well.
Liberty continues to shoot themselves in the foot with penalties here. That one, he was well short of the first there if that penalty isn't called.
Half the distance to the goal will be 1st down and 10.
So half the distance to the goal will put the Hawks at the 8-yard line of Liberty.
Ball's on the 8-yard line.
They trail 21-0, but have a chance here to get on the board. couple of big plays and a couple of big penalties have extended this drive. And Alvarez now from under center. First man through is Cutter Hart, and Hart didn't have a place to cut because
Stop by number 71, Jacob Monero on that play.
Jacob Monero got in there in a hurry. Trevor Landry also in there. Actually pushed him back maybe a half yard. Officially, it'll be 2nd and goal from the 8.
No gain on that play. It'd be a 2nd down and goal for the Hawks.
Alvarez again. He's got Yogi Hale wide to the right. Jason Bell wide to the left. Backs in the eye. Alvarez throwing the slant. Caught by Bell, and he is in for the touchdown. Jason Bell, 8-yard touchdown catch, and Buckeyes on the board.
Tremendous catch by Bell there. Once again, he has to go to the air, and he's able to bring it in despite the fact that he takes another hard shot around the legs and is brought down pretty hard by the defensive back there.
Brandon Grabowski's in to add the extra point. Snap is high, it's bobbled. And Ryan Colville was unable to run it in, so officially it'll go down as a missed 2-pointer. And with 5 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the first half, it's Liberty 21 and Buckeye 6. So Alvarez continues his fine play throwing the football. Told you about his big game a week ago, and he did not start this game at quarterback. Tari Jones did and has played several snaps in the Wildcat formation. But he throws a touchdown pass there that is his 7th of the season. And it gets his team on the board, trailing 21-6 with 5:45 to go. Now, if you're Buckeye, do you try? You've tried other things out of your bag of tricks. Do you try the onside kick?
It worked well for Liberty in the first quarter. They were able to recover one. Not so well when they tried it again in the second quarter, but
Liberty has some linemen on that forward wall with Eric Thomas, the only guy you'd consider one of the good hands people. Brandon Grabowski to kick off, and we'll see what the Hawks do. They'll angle it to the sideline, and it will go out at the 29-yard line.
He's done that on both kickoffs tonight.
That's right. Ball's kicked out of bounds, being 1st and 10 for the Lions on their 35-yard line.
So the other option is to take the ball. You can take it where it went out. You can have them re-kick, or you can take it at the 35 in that instance, and that's exactly what Dan Philman will do. 1st and 10 from the Liberty 35-yard line. And we'll see how they answer. Having just given up a long touchdown drive and aided the enemy with a couple of key penalties. They'll now get the ball back.
Yeah, that face mask on 3rd down is definitely hurting them. That would have stalled the drive, but instead, Buckeye able to score and, get this back to within 2 scores.
Gaddy fakes to Benedict, runs right into a host of white shirts across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
Brought down by number 60, Hunter Hort King.
Daniel Morales in there along with Hunter King to make the stop for the Hawks. It'll be 2nd and 9. Just over 5 minutes to play in the first half now. Liberty leads Buckeye 21-6. Ken Tomash and AJ Sturman with you on the Arizona High School Football On-Demand video series on the IBN Sports Broadcasting Network. And before this play gets underway, it's again too much time for Liberty.
Both teams are using the no huddle, but at the same time, it seems like it's taking them so long to establish what play they're running that I don't know if it's really benefiting that much, to be honest.
Again, you'll see all the Liberty players checking the play on their wristbands.
Yep.
That's how they will signal the play in. And now 2nd and 14 after the penalty. Gaddy again, drops back. He's got 3 men in front of him, and he set up the screen to Ryan Benedict. Benedict bounces off 1 tackler, but 3 more bring him down out close to the 40-yard line. It's going to be a 3rd and long. As Gaddy drew in the defenders and then flipped that screen pass.
Yeah, well-executed screen pass allows the defenders to get through and is able to dump it off at the last second.
Ryan Benedict only had 3 catches on the year coming in. Gets a few yards on that. We've got a player down on the far side.
Officials timeout on the field right now.
That is Ricky Higuera being helped off.
Ladies and gentlemen, this time we'd like to recognize yearbook photographer.
We are at Liberty High School in Peoria, Arizona.
On the field for the sports teams. Great job.
Next to last week of the regular season here in Arizona, and Liberty comes in 8-0 against a 3-5 Buckeye Hawks team that's trying to get into the postseason picture. They have just scored on a long drive to make it 21-6. And if they can hold Liberty here, who's facing a 3rd down and about 7, they can get the ball back with some time left in the first half to try to do something more. Liberty, of course, has other ideas. Andre Gaddy now has 3 receivers right, 1 to the left, and he'll roll to his right. He can turn it upfield, and he will. He's upended there by Tari Jones, but it looks like he's got the first down. It's very close, but depending on the spot, I think he's got it by half a football.
Jones made a hard tackle there, and he's been everywhere in this game, it seems like. He's been doing things on offense and defense for this team. Clearly one of their best players, but they're able to still get the first down despite taking a hard hit is Gaddy.
Tari Jones, just a junior, so there is promise for Buckeye fans for next year if nothing pans out for them the rest of the way here. Very, very young squad. 1st and 10 now, just across the 45 to the 46 of Liberty. 4:13 to play as Gaddy now rolls to his left, gives it back inside to Benedict, and Benedict is out to the 49-yard line for a gain of about 3. Brings up a 2nd and 7 with 4 minutes to go in the half. And if you're Liberty now, this is what you want. Ball control, maybe not give Buckeye the ball back, and see if you can cap it off at the end of the drive.
Right. And they've, so far in this game, they've done a very good job using the run, especially through Gaddy, to set up the passes, and that's where they've really made up big chunks of yards.
Gain of 3, 2nd and 7 from the 49 of Liberty. Gaddy again. Turns it upfield, gets to the outside. He may go. Down the sidelines, 51-yard touchdown, Andre Gaddy.
Tremendous run. I believe that'll be a new season long for Gaddy. His previous long of 40 yards, and that'll be touchdown number 12 on the ground for him this season. He now has 2 on the ground today and 1 through the air.
So forget what I said about ball control and grinding out the clock.
5 yards at a time.
No, he found the opening. Tiptoed down the sideline, 51 yards for the score, and now Connor McCray will try to make it 28-6. Out of the hold of Paul Panaccione. McCray's kick is up, and it's good, and with 3:27 to play in the first half, our score is Liberty 28, Buckeye 6. Big first half for Gaddy. He's battled through the fact that his offense has been a little out of sync at times with some costly penalties. That time he just took matters into his own hands and his feet did the rest. 51-yard touchdown.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to recognize our stellar
Great kickoff again.
this evening.
It's time from his own 40 as
Boys basketball coach
is
Eric
normal.
Rubenor. Boys strength training and basketball coach Mark Wood.
McCrae's had 47 PATs this season. The way this offense is playing, he can get to 50 by the end of the night.
Great job, gentlemen.
Now we'll see if the run-up is for real or, well, they fake it.
Got to believe Buckeyes ready for it now. They've seen that onside kick, or the little pooch kick, I should say, twice so far in the first half.
Tari Jones and Yogi Hale are back deep inside their own 5. McCrae sends a low squibber that'll bounce over the head of the first man, be picked up by Hale at the 11. Yogi Hale brought down about the 26-yard line after a 15-yard return. And with 3:23 to go in the first half, it's Buckeye ball again, trailing 28-6.
This is a huge drive for Buckeye, just to see how their offense responds to adversity. They had finally gotten some points up on the board, and it looked like their defense was doing a respectable job against Liberty. And then all of a sudden, Gaddy breaks free and breaks a 51-yard touchdown run, and now all of a sudden, the deficit's back to 3 touchdowns.
He does that to a lot of people. So Alex Alvarez remains the quarterback. Out of the spread. Pressure from the backside. Flips it out again to Bell. And Bell is wrapped up there and brought down out to the 28, 29-yard line, and he's shaken up now. We've seen him take a couple of hard hits after making catches. That one was at the end of the run, and so the athletic training staff's going to go take a look at Jason Bell.
He's been the go-to target for Alex Alvarez tonight. He's been the guy that's caught just about every one of his passes and has the one and only touchdown for them in this game.
So the clock is stopped with 3 minutes and 9 seconds to play. A recap of how we got to where we are. Paul Panachone started the scoring, catching a 58-yard touchdown pass right smack down the middle from Andre Gaddy, and it was 7-0. Then Gaddy ran 4 yards for a touchdown to make it 14-0 at the end of one. Eric Thomas scored from 3 yards out to open the scoring in the second quarter and make it 21-0 before the Hawks of Buckeye went on a long drive that was kept alive by a couple of key penalties. And the man who is now being helped up and walking off, Jason Bell, capped that drive with an 8-yard touchdown catch from quarterback Alex Alvarez. But the snap was bad on the point after. And so it was 21-6. But Liberty answered with Andre Gaddy going 51 yards on the option down the sideline on Liberty's last possession. And that's where we stand, 28-6 with 3:09 to play in the half. So that was actually a loss of about 3, just to add insult to injury. 2nd and 13. Alvarez takes the snap. Black shirts collapsing on him, and they look like they're going to get him, but he bounces away from it, showing some elusiveness, and then throws that one out. It's incomplete for Gino Waddell, but they're going to get Liberty for a pass interference call as the defender came over Gino Waddell's back. It is defensive pass interference.
Pass interference against the Lions.
And the 15-yard penalty will give them a first down.
Tremendous job by Alex Alvarez there that he was able to bounce out of there. I don't know how he came out on that one.
That was Eli Manning-like, if you remember, not too far from here, actually a little bit south, University of Phoenix Stadium, when Manning got away and launched that critical pass to help them beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl here in the Valley a couple years ago. I think Alvarez obviously has a long way to go to be that type of player, but he showed good elusiveness there, and now he is out, and Tari Jones will take the direct snap. On 1st and 10 from the 38 with 2:44 to go in the half. Pressure from the backside by Haskett, and he wraps up Jones and brings him down for a loss. He never saw Haskett coming. He had no chance.
No, absolutely not. And something that's curious to me is Buckeye has used Tari Jones a lot in the option quarterback offense, kind of a wildcat type thing. I'm not sure I think we've yet to see him actually attempt a pass from there. You wonder if it's just too one-dimensional, because this Liberty team can expect the run when he lines up at quarterback, because it doesn't seem like they really want to turn him loose and let him throw the ball at all.
Well, if there's an advantage, maybe from being back in the spread, he can maybe see things a little bit better rather than taking a handoff. But on 2nd and 15, Alvarez is back in there now. Gets pretty good protection. Flips it out to Waddell, and Waddell is dropped instantly. He's going to get forward progress out across the 40, but a big hit
Number 3, Gino Waddell.
put on Gino Waddell there by Jordan Key.
Making up for that pass interference call that he got against him a few plays ago.
So from just across the 40-yard line, it's going to be 3rd and about 8.
For the Hawks.
Alvarez again. 3-man rush. Whips it again out to Jason Bell, and that time they timed it perfectly. Pass broken up by Trey Shedrick, one of the 21 seniors honored before the game. Makes a big play, forces a 4th down, and it looks like the Hawks are going to have to punt it with 1:18 to go in the half.
This will be a big last minute 18 of this first half. It'll be interesting to see if Liberty can score again and kind of put the game out of reach going into halftime, or if Buckeye can hold strong and get some momentum going to start the second half.
A lot of it will depend on this punt, which is not as high as previous efforts, but it's nicely placed and out of bounds, not giving Paul Panaccione a chance to return it. And it's going to be out at about the 30, well, across the 40 to the 41-yard line. So that's where Liberty is going to open up with 1:13 to go in the half. And I'm sure Dan Philemon is thinking, let's do something crisply to cap off this first half. And
absolutely.
no penalties, whatever happens. Let's get our offense with a nice quick drive here, the 1:13 drill.
Parents, senior parents of any fall sport athletes, band, Spirit Line, Athletic Training Club, last call, please. Thank you.
And they're going to bring in Tyler Rogers. We told you how Tyler Rogers will come in to change things up. He's a big kid, 6'3". And so for the last 1:13, at least on this play, it's Tyler Rogers. But before his first play can get underway, we've got whistles and flags. Well, it looks like Buckeye wants to take a timeout, but they've got to administer the penalty first.
They've got both quarterbacks out there. They have Gaddy and Rogers out on the field at the same time.
You will see that. That's not a new formation either. Buckeye takes their 3rd and final timeout of the first half with 1:11 to play. And it's a procedure penalty on Liberty, so hopes for Dan Philemon of his squad going penalty free on a drive to end the first half have gone up in smoke. So now we'll see what they do on a 2nd and 15 from their own 36-yard line, leading at 28-6.
Rogers has been impressive in limited action. He's averaging over 20 yards per completion, and he's got 8 touchdowns despite only 42 pass attempts all season.
And we've seen those two alternate at times during games. We've even seen Rogers started a game a few weeks ago against Verado. And we've seen both players in the backfield at the same time, where Gaddy will operate kind of as a quasi-running back, slot back, receiver. Gaddy's even caught a long touchdown pass this season.
85-yarder against Thunderbird.
So Tyler Rogers will get a second chance at his first play with 1:11 to go in the first half, and Gaddy will go wide to the top of your screen as a wide receiver. 3 other receivers to the right side, and Eric Thomas the lone setback. And cranked up and thrown deep. Incomplete, but Buckeye was drawing a bead on that one, and Eric Thomas actually acted like a bit of a defensive back to make sure that it wasn't intercepted there by Jason Bell, who was shaken up on the offensive side a few plays ago and is back in at defensive back. Again, whistles. Scoreboard says 3rd down, and the down indicator says 3rd down. I thought it was 2nd down.
That might be what they're reviewing here.
Everybody gets together. It's everybody's responsibility to know what down it is, so you don't have any potential problems with the phantom down, and now we are at 2nd down and 15. The first play, of course, wiped out by a penalty, and then the incomplete pass, and so now it's 2nd and 15 with 1:05 to go, and Liberty at their own 36-yard line. Tyler Rogers in here for the last series of the half for Liberty. He will fake to Thomas and again look to throw down the slot, and it's incomplete to Noriega, but there's going to be a defensive pass interference call.
Yeah, that one looked fairly obvious. He was being worn there, coming across the middle.
They like to throw that slot right down the seam of the middle. That's the play that Panachone scored on to open the scoring. That time they went to Noriega, and that was incomplete. Buckeyes guilty of pass interference, so that'll move the ball for Liberty. And so for once this half, the flag goes Liberty's way. To the 49, 1st and 10.
The Lions on the Buckeye 49-yard line with 1:02 left to go in the half.
Tyler Rogers now, though Andre Gaddy is in at a wide receiver, streaking down the left side. The throw goes to the right side out in the flat, and it's too low for Panachone to come up with. It'll be 2nd and 10 with under a minute to play in the half.
Number 4, Paul Panachone, falls incomplete.
Rogers has the play now, 2nd and 10 from the 49. Again, he looks to throw. Throws it over the top and off the hand of Panachone, and it's picked off. Gino Waddell with the interception, and he is down inside the 40 to the 39, so a very unfortunate turn of events. Waddell's 3rd pick of the season. That went off the hands of Paul Panachone, who had to leap to try to make the catch. And
he just tipped it right to him. He almost gave it right to Waddell.
Gino Waddell, his 3rd interception of the season, and couldn't come at a better time, as with 48.5 seconds now left in the first half, the Hawks have new life and the football inside Liberty territory at the 39.
Yeah, this could be a big swing of momentum if they could do something with it here, especially considering they'll start the second half with the ball.
Big ifs. Again, they look to set up the double pass, and Yogi Hale will throw it back the other way, and it is caught by a lineman. It was caught by Ricky Higuera, and that's going to be illegal touching. That used to be, years ago, it was offensive pass interference when an ineligible receiver caught a ball. Higuera just acted like it was intended for him. Just said, I'll take that, and started running with it. But no, that is illegal touching, and it's going to be a loss of down penalty as well. And so what could have been a promising drive here, that's the 2nd time they've gone to that, throw it out to Yogi Hale in the flat and try to have Hale look downfield, but nobody was open downfield, so he went back the other way. Alex Alvarez was standing right there, but instead Ricky Higuera grabbed it, and so it's a loss of down foul. And it will be 2nd down with the clock running, under 25 seconds to go, and the Hawks now need to crank it up, take a shot at the end zone. And that was thrown behind Yogi Hale as he did an out pattern, and Alvarez threw it behind him, so it'll be 3rd and 19 now.
Pass from Alvarez attempt for number 20, Yogi Hale.
You can see why Bobby Barnes is pretty high on Alex Alvarez, and it does make you wonder why you don't see him just drop back and throw the ball more often, because he's got skills. This is his 1st year as a varsity starter.
Yeah, he's a gifted drop back passer. It's just been They've kind of been all over the place with their play calling in this first half.
3rd and 19 now. Alvarez drops back, looks deep, throws it across the middle, and that is way over the head of Jason Bell. And so now 4th down. You don't want to give Liberty a short field should you fail to come up with this conversion on 4th. So it looks like they're going to send Brandon Grabowski in to punt it away.
Jacob Neri in on that pressure on the play.
And again, you want to keep it away from number 4 in black. dangerous return man. Already got one touchdown on a return this year and has had a couple of good returns so far tonight. Little motion. The fake punt. Grabowski throws and his receiver slipped. He would have been well short of the first down anyway. Incomplete to Cody Bostic. And so they did keep it away from Paul Panaccione, but they also gave the ball back in pretty good field position for Liberty here, who may have a few shots at the end zone. They have all 3 timeouts remaining.
Yeah, figuring just 10 seconds left in the first half that maybe they could get away with it, but this one could backfire on them certainly, as now Liberty with the ability to get huge chunks of yardage in a single play, have, like you said, all their timeouts and 9.5 seconds to do something with it.
So Tyler Rogers, who was in on the last series before throwing an interception, gives away once again to Andre Gatti, the starter. 1st and 10 from the 48. He will pitch it out on the right side. Ryan Benedict. Benedict going down the sideline, and he is going to get close, and I don't think he's in. No indication from the officials yet. They're going to talk it over. Touchdown. 47-yard touchdown run by Ryan Benedict.
What a huge run to end the half, and a gutsy call there to decide to run the ball in a situation where common sense says you're likely just going to chuck it downfield. Huge run by Benedict, able to take it the distance himself, and that call by Buckeye, that one certainly comes back to haunt them immediately.
Ryan Benedict, their second leading rusher coming in. We told you that Andre Gatti has plenty of weapons at his disposal. You just saw another one of them, as Benedict gets his 6th touchdown rushing of the year. It's from 47 yards out. And Connor McCray, who's been a busy young man tonight, makes it 35-6 on the very final play of the first half. So the third quarter is about to begin here at Liberty High School in Peoria, Arizona. Ken Tomash and A.J. Sturman with you. A.J., hard to believe, but with 4 minutes to go in the first half, this was a 21-6 game before those 2 huge runs by Liberty really got them out to that huge lead at halftime. Now they're really in the driver's seat.
Yeah, it looked promising for Buckeye. That first touchdown run that made it 28-6 was big, but the biggest part of it was the fake punt that ends up backfiring for Buckeye. Gives Liberty one last play. You'd think maybe they'll just chuck it to the end zone. Instead, they go with a run and break off a 47-yard touchdown to end the half. And now this game looks like it's maybe out of reach for Buckeye.
Andre Gatti turned it upfield and went 51 yards for the touchdown that made it 28-6. And then, as A.J. mentioned, the fake punt gave the ball back to Liberty with just seconds to play. And on the very last play of the half, Ryan Benedict ran 47 yards for the touchdown. It's 35-6 now at the half. But A.J., Buckeye does get the ball to start the third quarter. How critical is this first drive of the third?
Well, this first drive is huge. They're going to need to put something on the board if they're going to make this a game once again. And it'll be interesting to see just how this team responds, what their mental state is right now, because it was such a bad way to end the first half. If they're able to come out and put something together, they're still in this game. But you know what? It'll just be interesting how big of an effect that last touchdown run had on their mindset coming into the second half, because down 29 right now, things don't look good.
And Liberty really has kept Buckeye in this game through a host of penalties, some sloppy penalties, a couple personal fouls that extended drives, jumping offside, procedure calls. It has not been the kind of crisp first half that Dan Filliman wanted to see.
No, certainly not. The scoreboard is, obviously very positive for them at the moment. Liberty's playing, pretty good football when you just look at the scoreboard, but you're right, there have been a lot of penalties, a lot of mistakes, and it's something they're going to have to clean up, considering they only have this second half of football and then one more game next week before the postseason gets going.
This is the time of year when you want to be playing your best football, and Dan Filliman wants to see that in the second half. They lead it 35-6 to start the third quarter.
Should I just shut it off? Okay.
Again, McCray fakes the onside kick. Connor McCray was a busy man in the first half with 5 extra point attempts. Puts his yellow boots to it, and that one will fall just short of the end zone, and give Buckeye a chance to bring it back. Yogi Hale out across the 20 to about the 21-yard line, and so that's where the Buckeye Hawks will begin play here in the third quarter, trailing 35-6. And with a play-by-play story, here's AJ.
Buckeye takes the field to start the second half here. Like we said in the open, this will be a huge first drive for them. See what they're able to do, and if they're able to put something together here. And Liberty will look to continue playing good defense, and like we said, hopefully more discipline from them, because there have been a lot of, especially big penalties. We've seen a lot of 15-yarders and penalties that have really hurt them. It'll be Alvarez at quarterback to start. He's taken some of the snaps. No, excuse me. It'll be Tari Jones, actually, who will take the direct snap and go take it to the left side. He'll keep it and be brought down for a loss of 2 or 3 on the play. Tari Jones has taken a fair amount of the snaps at quarterback in a direct snap wildcat situation. We've seen him take several snaps, and he's yet to throw the ball once. He's run it every time.
Cody Golita comes up with the stop there. And it's a loss of 3.
So 2nd and 13 here. And Buckeye continues to try and use the run to set up the pass, and it'll still be Tari Jones. It looks like he's in at quarterback at least for a few plays here. And he's got 4 wide and 1 man in the backfield with him. He'll keep it again and go straight up the middle. This time he'll gain a little bit of yardage, but he's fighting for every inch of it, and he'll go just past the 20, maybe back around to right by the original line of scrimmage. So they'll face 3rd and long here with just right at the 11-minute mark of this third quarter. 35-6 is the score. And it'll be 3rd and 10 here. Big play for Buckeye. They got to get something on this one.
And one of the really impressive things about Tari Jones is the way he bounces off tacklers. I mean, he's a little bigger back, 6 foot even, and he runs high, but he bounces off tacklers to get extra yards.
Alvarez in at quarterback. You got to believe this is a passing situation. Drops back looking for a receiver. He's got time. Goes out to the right, and it is an incomplete pass as Yogi Hale is not able to come up with it. So 4th and 9, they'll be forced to punt. 10:31 here in the third quarter, and a tough 3 and out to start for Buckeye. That is not what they were looking for coming out of the half.
That ball a little bit underthrown. Yogi Hale's got good hands, but Alvarez put him in a tough position by not leading him very much. He had to reach down to try to get it, and another punt.
Brandon Grabowski will be back to punt, and this one will be just a straight punt. Last time they kicked it, it was a fake. Ball will be received and brought back past the 40-yard line, flagged down on the play. That's Paul Pancioni, who's had a couple good punt returns tonight. We'll have to see what this play or what this flag is about. Able to pick up some yardage, but this one could be coming back.
Usually on that, you'll see someone with a block in the back, some sort of illegal block usually. Pancioni did not get as much yardage on that particular return as he had been getting tonight, but that he did have to kind of catch that ball over his shoulder and then turn around and head back upfield. And so
and this one's coming back. They had it at just past the 40, but they're coming all the way back inside the 30. So this one, they will start this drive at the 24-yard line. Block in the back is the penalty, and that one hurts as it takes away some great field position for this Liberty High School team looking to start the second half with a good drive of their own.
Liberty bring up a 1st down and 10.
So, AJ, we see Andre Gaddy back in at quarterback. We saw Tyler Rogers.
Rogers got a few snaps in the first half and promptly threw an interception, so Gaddy will return at quarterback, and he has had a heck of a game so far, doing it on the ground, through the air. He's hurt this team in multiple ways. Loses the ball, though, and that one is recovered by Buckeye.
And again, twice in the first half, Gaddy mishandled snaps.
And it's Cutter Hart, the 5'10" freshman, who comes up with it. Freshman making a big play there. And this is a huge opportunity for Buckeye, getting maybe their best field position of the night. They will start inside the 20.
This is an example of just how young this Buckeye team is when a freshman is a key contributor.
Yeah, makes a big play there with the fumble recovery. Just messed up on the snap, and it will be, once again, Tari Jones in at quarterback. No, excuse me, it's Alvarez. Tari Jones is in the game as well, but it's Alvarez that throws it. Ball is intended for Yogi Hale, but he does not come up with it in the end zone. So it will be 2nd and 10 from the 18-yard line. They still have Tari Jones in the game, but it looks like right now they're settled with Alvarez, the 6'2" junior at quarterback. He's had a spotty night. He's obviously got a strong arm, but he just hasn't been terribly accurate with his passing so far.
You are the big winner.
Alvarez with Jones in the backfield, 3 wide at the bottom of your screen and 1 man up top.
It's a second life for Buckeye.
Alvarez drops back, looking towards the end zone. And once again, an incomplete pass. That one targeted for Jason Bell.
Paul Panaccione with a great defensive play. He's a good 2-way player, actually a 3-way player, as you see him quite a bit on special teams. But Coach Filliman says they like to get him a rest sometimes at defensive back. He's in there now in the second half with him up 35-6, and he makes a key play there because Bell had a half a step on him and was at the goal line.
And once again, Bell seems to be the main target for Alex Alvarez tonight. He's gone to him over and over. 3rd down and 10, big play here. If Alvarez is able to step up and make a big completion, he looks off his receiver, and that one is intended for Tari Jones out of the backfield. Tari Jones didn't look like he knew it was coming towards him. He dives out at the last second, but is unable to make the play. 4th and 10 on the 18-yard line for Buckeye, and they just cannot generate offense here in the second half.
And you got to go here. Their opening possession, they had a field goal that was either tipped or just going nowhere from the get-go.
Yeah.
And so 4-down territory here on,
especially in a situation where you're down 29
you need
points.
touchdowns.
You got to do something big here. A field goal really doesn't do too much for this game, in all honesty. So it'll be Alvarez out of the shotgun once again, looking towards the bottom of the screen. He'll go out to the right, and he's got time. That ball was in there, and that one is intercepted. It will be a touchback. Ball is picked off. That is Panaccione, who has done some big things on defense here. First with the deflected ball and then an interception in the end zone, and they will get it on the 20-yard line. Liberty with the ball once again. And Alvarez not having the best game. He's thrown a lot of incompletes and an interception there.
And that one, it's cliche, but it could not have come at a worse time, as you had a chance on the turnover to go in after your first series, you're 3 and out. And they keep going for the end zone, and that time Panaccione read it, picked it off.
So it's Andre Gaddy out of the shotgun. He's got 4 wide receivers and a running back, and he will hand it off straight. Nope.
See?
It was a good fake.
He'll do that.
Excellent fake. He actually loses yardage. He kept it himself. It looked for a second like he had handed it off to running back Ryan Benedict, who broke that long touchdown run to end the first half. Benedict did not have it, though, and Gaddy loses a bit of yardage on the play. So it will be 2nd down here from about the 17 or 18.
That's what you call a good fake.
Yeah. Yeah. I bought.
I think everybody did, especially except for a couple of defenders on Buckeye who were not fooled. They know that most of the time number 12 is going to be the man with the ball in his hands.
So Gaddy out of the shotgun once again, and he's got 4 wide receivers and 1 man in the backfield. And he will keep it again out to the right. Tackled hard. He goes up in the air a little bit. He gets just past the 20. So this will be a long 3rd down situation here. About 3rd and 8 as Gaddy was only able to gain about 3 or 4 on that play.
Jason Bell, who was shaken up as a receiver in the first half, puts the stick on Gaddy there. And Buckeye just keeps hanging around and coming up with these types of situations where if they can make the play, they might have something, but they haven't been able to make the play.
No, every time they've gotten the ball on offense, they've struggled. Gaddy out of the gun once again. He'll draw back, and he's looking to throw here. Doesn't see anybody he likes, and he'll keep it himself. Fights for it, and he gets that 1st down. Another unbelievable play by Gaddy, making something out of nothing. It looked like he was going to come down right around the 25. Just keeps fighting and picks up the yardage he needs to get out to the 30, and a 1st down for Liberty.
An elusive runner, the 5'9" junior Andre Gaddy, spins up across the 30 for a 1st down. Now his team's on the move.
2 touchdown runs so far in this game for Gaddy, in addition to throwing for 1. So he's been a busy man so far. 35-6 with 8:20 left here in the 3rd quarter. Gaddy out of the gun. He's got 1 receiver at the bottom of the screen, 2 men up top. Takes the snap, and he will hand it off this time to Benedict, who's able to pick up about 5 or 6 yards. Just goes right off his right tackle. Gains a solid 5 there. Set up a manageable 2nd down for Liberty.
And here's where we may see what Bobby Barnes was talking about wearing down and a lack of depth and so many guys playing both ways. It's late in the season, so the weather's cooler than the beginning of the season, but still, the guys in white, a lot of those guys have been out there for almost every snap of this game on both sides of the ball, and when you're on defense and you don't know where the play is going, you're expending more energy.
Gaddy with the handoff once again. No, he'll keep it. And he picks up the first down easily, gets out to about the 45-yard line there, runs that play action once again, and is able to pick up the yardage needed to move those chains.
And they have to respect, he's shown that he can throw the ball. He showed that early with a long touchdown pass to start the scoring, so they have to respect the fact that he can throw the ball. So if they stay back, he just burns them with a quarterback draw.
Yeah. Gaddy out of the gun. He has got 2 men up top and 1 man at the bottom of the screen. Benedict in the backfield with him. Checks off, and Gaddy will keep it and come out left and pick up another first down, and they are just killing him on the ground right now. Gaddy is just keeping it himself and picking up yardage on every play.
Key block there by Jordan Key on the outside to keep a defender away from Andre Gaddy, who picks up yet another first down and goes out of bounds.
Gaddy chewing up yardage on this drive. Ball at the 43-yard line. Liberty is now in Buckeye territory. Gaddy checks off the play, goes back into the gun, and they've been using this formation all drive with 3 wide receivers and 1 man in the backfield with him. Gaddy will keep it and pitch it out to Benedict, and Benedict is going to pick up good yardage. Once again, he gets about 7 on the option toss.
That is so dangerous. We saw late in the first half how he turned that one up inside and got to the sideline, and it was Katie bar the door. That time he makes the pitch to Benedict, and Benedict gets close to the first down.
Gain of 7. It'll be 2nd and 3 as we approach the midway point of this third quarter. Liberty just killing time right now. We've already seen about 6 minutes of football go by pretty quickly because they've just chewed up clock on the ground on this drive. Gaddy out of the gun once again, not looking to pass. He hands it off, and this is Benedict, and he's going to break off a big one. He's inside the 20, and he will go down right around the 10-yard line. Huge gain there. He breaks off 26. And they are inside the red zone once again with a chance to score.
And the other key to keeping the clock moving, AJ, and not only just chewing up the yardage, is that they've managed to stay, except for the block in the back on the punt that gave them the football. They've stayed penalty-free on this drive. And so that's one reason the clock continues to move, and they're set up now at 1st and 10 at the 12.
Gaddy checks his wristband for the play. And will step back into the shotgun. He's got 3 wide receivers and a running back here. Gaddy gets the snap, and he will keep it, go up the middle, and he'll be brought down right around the 5-yard line. Once again, he just falls forward, gains a few extra yards, and that really adds up.
Again, he's not very tall, so when he does fall forward, he doesn't get you much, but...
And we have a player down on the field, so there will be an official's timeout. It's someone for Buckeye, not sure who it is right now, but the players will take a knee, and the training staff will come out and take a look at this.
Looks like Ricky Higuera, number 64, who's down. Of course, he was involved in that crazy play in the first half where they tried the double pass, and he caught the ball out of the air when it wasn't intended for him, and said,
he treated it like it was, though.
He did. He acted like a receiver, a lineman's dream. He's down now, and the athletic training staff is out to tend to him. We hope Ricky Higuera is okay. The 5'10", 270-pound senior who plays on the offensive and defensive lines. And Coach Bobby Barnes told me yesterday that both Higuera and Hunter King have the potential to play at the next level. He says not Division I, but they should play college football somewhere, so that's good.
Higuera's certainly got the size, one of the bigger guys on their offensive line.
270 pounds.
Yeah. And he is up and walking off under his own power, so that's good to see. He'll come off. He's moving slowly, but he is up and moving, and play will resume here. As
we told you, a lot of these guys have been on the field for the majority of the snaps in this game, and Higuera looks like he's feeling it at this point.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly easy to understand when you have guys that are playing both offense and defense. That definitely takes a toll after a while. So Liberty will have the ball. 2nd, and they don't have to score a touchdown here. They can get a first down if they get the ball at the 2-yard line. So it'll be 2nd and 3 here from the 5. And once again, it is Gaddy, the 5'9" junior, out of the shotgun. And he goes to his left and pitches it off. and brought down right around the 3 is Austin Haskett, who usually plays tight end for this team and had a huge catch in the first half that went for about a gain of 40. That's the first time we've seen him get anything in this half, though, and he's able to pick up a couple. It'll be 3rd and inches here. And Gaddy will go back. He checks with the coaches, and now he's back up with his offensive line. Just a short yardage situation here. 3rd and 1, they'll call it, but it's about 3rd and inches. This is a short one, and it'll go straight up the middle. And that is a touchdown. And Liberty continues to expand this lead. It's Ryan Benedict once again who puts the ball in the end zone. He's able to fall over the goal line. Tough one to see, but he gets in, and this lead is expanded to 41-6, and we will see Connor McCray come out for what will be his 6th PAT attempt of the game.
So Ryan Benedict with his 2nd straight touchdown. He got the one to close the scoring in the first half on the final play and opens the scoring here in the 3rd, and the kick is blocked.
McCray's kick is blocked. First time tonight, he does not convert. He'll go to 5 of 6 for the game. So the score currently sits at 41-6. We have a 35-point gap between these two sides, and McCray will stick on the field, and he will kick this one off to Buckeye, looking to make some sort of an impact. Their offense has not been able to do much here so far in the second half.
You can see flashes.
Yeah.
From time to time, and they've got some skill position players that can make some plays. It's just that they just haven't been able to make key plays when they've had to. Again, a slightly undersized offensive line. It is all seniors, so their offensive linemen are all going to be graduating, and so it'll be a challenge to see what they come up with next year in terms of young players, and we'll see if some of those young players get in here late in this game now that it's out of hand with a 35-point advantage. But you can see that the skill position players that will be back next year, specifically Tari Jones, but also Alex Alvarez, have shown that they can make some plays. It's just a matter of refining it and getting more experience.
Absolutely. Impressive drive by Liberty, though. They were really able to control the clock, move downfield, and pick up yardage, and now they will kick it off, and it will be McCray who kicks it deep, and this one will be close to the end zone, but fielded at the 2. That one is fielded by Yogi Hale, who will run straight up the middle with it. He gets back to the 20 and maybe a yard or 2 more, but not a huge return there. And Buckeye will start this drive from just past the 20-yard line.
So with 4 minutes and 53 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, we'll see what Buckeye can do. You would presume that we're going to see a lot of those seniors on senior night for Liberty that were honored before the game. And I see everybody will get in. Trey Shedrick is back at free safety. That's he's a starter, but as this game wears on, I'm sure we'll see some of the other seniors come in off the bench. And again, Alex Alvarez at quarterback and under center on 1st and 10. He'll whip that one out to the left side to Jason Bell. And Bell is going to be ridden down like a horse down to by Jordan Key down to the ground. Actually, it's Cody Galita who makes that stop. Austin Haskett in there as well, as he usually is.
And Bell continues to be the main target for this Buckeye attack. They seem to be throwing to him just about every time. And finally taking some shots through the air. I thought for a second that was going to be, once again, they were going to try and, throw that downfield with that screen pass. But this time it's just a straightforward play and goes for a gain of 2.
2nd and 8 now from the 25. Again, the misdirection, and they go up the middle of Cody Bostic, and Bostic is out for a first down across the 40-yard line. Cody Bostic, another one of those guys showing flashes. He's a senior, though, so getting towards the end of his career.
He's been impressive tonight. He's done a very good job. He's had to take a lot of carries, and for someone who's just 5'8", 165, he absorbs punishment pretty well.
The ball just across the 40. 1st and 10 now, and Alvarez puts Jones in motion and then gives him the ball. They'll cut back up the middle. A flag is down, and Jones is down out at the 49-yard line for a gain of 9, but we'll check the flag. It's an illegal motion foul on Buckeye. So a promising gain is negated. And Tyler Rogers is warming up on the sideline, maybe just to keep loose. We may see him again before this game is over, with his team with a comfortable 35-point lead at 41-6.
You'd have to believe he'd like to get back into this game if to just make up for the fact that in his limited action in the first half he threw that interception.
So 1st and 15 now from the 36-yard line. Alvarez again with 4 receivers, and again Tari Jones goes in motion. Alvarez cranks it up, throws long, has a man, caught! And Jason Bell is out of bounds at the 31-yard line. 34-yard gain, nicely thrown by Alex Alvarez and nicely caught by Jason Bell. And you see why Bobby Barnes said, I cannot keep this kid off the field on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, it's easy to tell why they like Bell so much and want to get him involved on the offensive side, because in a situation like that, he makes a tremendous play on a, like you said, a very well-thrown ball. Alvarez showing that arm strength.
Bell, another one of those juniors, will be back next year, as will Alex Alvarez, who takes the snap. Again looking to throw, again for the sideline. That one is low, but caught. And again, it's Jason Bell.
Pass got by number 2, Jason Bell on that play.
Inside the 30 to the 28 for a gain of 3, brings up 2nd and 7.
Bell had just 3 catches all season coming into this game, but he's made it count tonight with a number of big plays and a touchdown, his first of the season receiving.
So something to build on for Buckeye. Alvarez puts Jones in motion again. And again, throws over the top, and he had Yogi Hale in that seam. He would have had to drop it in perfectly and among that sea of black shirts, and he almost did, but just a little past Yogi Hale. It'll be 3rd and 7.
There have been a couple plays we've seen tonight where Alvarez and his receivers, I don't know if it's miscommunication or what, but the receivers, there have been some times where they just haven't seen the ball coming. They haven't known that they're the target or when it's coming at them, and that might be a result of pressure from this Liberty front or just miscommunication. But there have been a few mistakes that certainly will look to be corrected.
Familiarity, too. We told you that Alex Alvarez hadn't started a varsity game prior to this year. Getting more confidence as the season and this drive goes along, and that ball hung in the air just a little too long for Gino Waddell to make a play on it, and Waddell was hit hard by Trey Shedrick. And so it's 4th and 7, and an obvious go-for-it situation here, you would believe, with 2:36 to go in the 3rd. You got to be thinking, get the first down here. I mean, they've tried taken a couple of shots downfield on the last few plays, but you're thinking, let's get 7 yards, move the chains, and go from there.
Yeah, all you need to do is get it to the 20 here. You don't need to go to the end zone.
4th and 7. Alvarez from the spread drops back. He's got receivers in the pattern, throws it over the top, looking for Jones, and Jones leaped up high, just missed coming down with that one. That surely would have been a touchdown.
Nearly a tremendous catch there, but once again, rather than just trying to pick up the 7 yards needed, they go for it all. And like you said, they almost get it, but it'll be a turnover on downs once again for this Buckeye team.
Game of inches is really, it's a cliche, but it's probably the story of this Buckeye season. We told you about their 2 one-point losses this season, to Desert Edge and Peoria. And sometimes you're, like Al Pacino said, in any given Sunday, just one step too fast or too slow, you don't quite get there. That's been the story of this game and this season, and now Tyler Rogers is back in for the Liberty Lions. Whether Andre Gaddy's night is done or not, we don't know. But Tyler Rogers takes over now with 2.5 minutes to play in the 3rd, and he will fake the handoff to Thomas and keep it himself and get across the 30 to the 31 for a gain of about 3. Rogers actually not a bad runner himself, had 160 yards on the ground coming in and 4 touchdowns. And that's because he's a big kid too. But his game at 6'3", 170 is drop back, throw the ball. The sophomore who will
Our second shout out this evening.
Be the backup again next year, you would assume, to Andre Gaddy before taking over as a senior.
Love butter.
They'll call it 2, and we've got a flag in the air. A sideline warning, as you can even see that a lot of the Buckeye players and coaching staff are a little too close to the field of play for the line judge's liking. So the first one does not carry a yardage penalty. It's just a warning. Next one would be 5 yards. So it's still 2nd and 8 from the 30 with 1:54 to play. Rogers again fakes the give to Thomas, keeps it himself, goes around the left side, first down, and down out near the 50 to about the 49-yard line. So nice gain there by Tyler Rogers.
Been impressive using his feet on this drive, picking up yardage that way. Like you said, he can throw the ball well, and he's shown in limited action that he's got the ability, and now showing that he can run it as well.
So Rogers picks up the first down. They call it to the 48-yard line. 1st and 10 with 1:38 to go in the third quarter. Liberty leads Buckeye 41-6, and maybe more coming as Eric Thomas stiff arms a defender, but he stepped out of bounds inside the 30 at about the 29. It'll be another first down and another big gain for Eric Thomas, the senior.
What a run by Thomas there. He picks up huge yardage and just shows his strength by holding off a defender there. That was tremendous. And you know what? If he doesn't step on that outline, that could be 6.
Thomas already has a touchdown tonight. And Buckeye takes their first timeout of the second half.
Score Peoria 27, Sunrise Mountain 17.
And so they've just told the crowd here the score of the Sunrise Mountain game, the Sunrise Mountain Peoria game, which is happening about 4 miles away from here. Of course, these two close schools are big rivals, and Peoria is leading 27-17 in the second half at Sunrise Mountain. The Mustangs are trying to become a playoff team as well, and the folks here at Liberty would just as soon see that not happen, just for bragging rights. They already got them with a 24-23 win in the season opener, but can never have your rivals lose enough. Here we've got 1 minute and 9 seconds to go in the third quarter, and the Liberty Lions lead the Buckeye Hawks by a score of 41-6. Ken Tomash and AJ Sturman with you on the Arizona High School Football On-Demand video series on the IBN Sports Broadcasting Network. We're glad you're with us, whether you're watching us live here on Friday night or on demand some other time. Glad you've tuned in. We've seen some very skilled players at work tonight. Liberties have made more of the big plays, and that's why they lead at 41-6. Here's Tyler Rogers staring at a 1st and 10 from the 29. Gives it inside to Thomas, and Thomas gets to about the 25 for a gain of 4. And we're just over a minute to play in the third quarter, so Liberty may be able to grind out the quarter here. Down to the 25, 2nd and 6. Rogers again, takes it himself, up the middle. Spins inside the 20, looks like he's got the first down. In any case, it's very, very close.
Number 16, Tyler Rogers on a carry.
Rogers' numbers show that he can certainly throw the ball. I think it's interesting that they're focusing a lot more on the running portion of his attack so far since he's taken over from Andre Gaddy to start this drive.
Well, when you're up by 35.
Probably don't want to air it out too much.
Yeah, not much to be gained by taking it out on a Buckeye squad. They're going to let the third quarter expire. So only one touchdown in that third quarter of play. It was on a 3-yard run by Ryan Benedict. And with 12 minutes to go, it is Liberty 41, Buckeye 6. We'll be back with the fourth quarter. You're watching the Arizona High School Football On-Demand video series on the IBN Sports Broadcasting Network. So the fourth quarter begins. Liberty leads Buckeye by a score of 41-6. And the Lions had the ball at the 20-yard line of the Hawks with a 3rd down and short. And that is the very definition of gang tackling. As for one of the very few times tonight, Eric Thomas goes backwards, but his forward progress gave him the first down, and so Liberty continues the drive.
Well, the 6'1", 195 senior can say that at least it took about half a team to bring him down on that one.
Clock will continue to move as Thomas got forward progress to the 15, where it's 1st and 10. Tyler Rogers remains the quarterback, spelling Andre Gaddy, who had a terrific game with a couple of touchdown runs and a touchdown pass. This time the pitch to Thomas on the option. Thomas gets to the outside. Can he tiptoe and stay in bounds? He does. Touchdown. Eric Thomas, 15 yards.
After seeing so much of Ryan Benedict early in this game, it's now Eric Thomas who's taken over and is carrying the bulk of the load and doing a tremendous job. Breaks off the 15-yard touchdown run there.
So on the second play of the fourth quarter, Thomas goes in from 15 yards out, and if Connor McCray is able to convert on the point after, which he does, make the score 48-6 with 11 minutes and 24 seconds to play. And that means that Liberty has reached the magic number of a 42-point lead, which means the clock will continue to run here in the remainder of the game, except for scores, timeouts, and injuries, which gives Buckeye even less time to do anything offensively. They're going to have to move quickly whatever they do.
Right now you have to believe this Buckeye team is looking towards next week, seeing if they can build anything in the last 11 minutes and 24 seconds of this game that they can take as a positive into next week's matchup at Yunker, which will likely be with their season on the line. They need a win to advance to the state playoffs.
And they may need some help as well. We'll see what a 48-6 loss to an undefeated and third-ranked team does to your power rating. But if they can get something here in the last 11 minutes and change of the fourth quarter, maybe it'll help them a little bit. We'll see. Still a lot of football left to be played. And Eric Thomas, who scored the touchdown, kicks off. And the reverse to Tari Jones. Jones gets to the outside. They pursue him and finally push him out of bounds at about the 22. So Connor McCray gets a break. Eric Thomas kicks off. And they run the reverse with Yogi Hale taking it first and giving it to Tari Jones going the other way. Jones gets across the 20 to the 22. And with an even 11 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter, Buckeye will start at their own 22, 1st and 10. Alex Alvarez remains the quarterback. The man coming wide to the bottom of your screen is Jason Bell, who's been his favorite receiver tonight. Instead, they'll give it inside to Cody Bostic. And Bostic, who's done yeoman's work tonight, is out close to the 28-yard line.
One of the rare times we've seen Alvarez go from under center. They've used both teams have used the shotgun for the bulk of this game, but that was just a more traditional under center halfback off tackle. Goes for a solid gain.
But time is Buckeye's enemy. Gain of 5, 2nd and 5. From the 27, just over 10 minutes to play in the game. Again, Bostic gets the call, and he is hit hard just as he gets to the line to gain.
Yeah, he got stood up on that one. That was, once again, despite the fact that he's only 165 pounds, he takes another hard hit well.
It's enough for the first down. And now we do see the reserves in defensively for Liberty. Chris Bonity comes in, and Ben Kulos checks out from middle linebacker position. 9:25 to play. First down from the 33. And if it's working, go with it. Cody Bostic again on the carry out to the 39. Gain of about 6. And if nothing else, if you keep the ball on the ground, keep the clock moving, you're picking up yardage, but you're also avoiding giving the ball back to the guys in black, which has not been working out so well for them tonight. Yogi Hale comes wide here to the near side with Jason Bell split wide up top. 2 backs in the offset eye. It's Tari Jones on the pitch left. Gets a block from Yogi Hale and gets the first down out to midfield and across midfield into Liberty territory at the 47. That's a well-executed play.
Absolutely. For the first time in this half, we're seeing them keep it on the ground and really pick something up, you know, really get a solid run attack going as they now have the ball into Liberty territory.
First and 10 for the Hawks.
Jones gets to the 48. First and 10 there. Clock moving as it will for the remainder of this game with a 42-point spread between the teams. Alvarez again under center. Backs in the eye. This time he'll throw out of the eye. Whips it complete. And it's Yogi Hale making the catch. He is their leading receiver coming in with 15 catches. They kept him pretty bottled up to this point tonight. A couple of catches. That one an 8-yard gain makes it 2nd and 2 with 7:37 to play in the game.
Hale's an impressive receiver, but he's definitely been limited tonight by this Liberty defense. So far this season, though, he's averaging almost 20 yards a catch, so he picks up big chunks at a time when he gets the ball in his hands.
Again, the offset eye. And Alvarez again under center, trying to draw Liberty offside. Pitch it back to Tari Jones. Jones gets to the outside, has the first down and more, and he's out of bounds. But the clock continues to run now with the 42-point spread, so getting out of bounds doesn't conserve the clock. He did get the first down, though. And we've got exactly 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Buckeye on the move.
Tari Jones has looked good getting the ball in a more traditional running back sense rather than taking it on a direct snap. He picked up yardage doing that as well, but it seemed like he was struggling more because he was running it inside. Now he's getting it on pitches and able to get outside and use his speed, and he's picking up great yardage.
Jones again is the deep back in the eye. Alvarez is going to get hit hard as soon as he lets that one go. It's complete. Bell again with another catch, and that'll be 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. Credit Alvarez for staying in there with pressure coming at him, and he delivered that ball right where it needed to go to Jason Bell.
And once again, Bell takes a big hit but holds on to it and picks up 30 yards.
1st and goal for Buckeye.
1st and goal Hawks at the 5-yard line with just over 6 minutes to play in the game. Larry Gillen's in at fullback. He'll be the lead blocker here for Tari Jones as he tries to get to the outside. Touchdown, Tari Jones. He got a great block at the goal line from Yogi Hale.
Jones on the carry for a Buckeye touchdown.
And you can see why Bobby Barnes is so high on Yogi Hale.
And like I said, they had to be cognizant of the fact that this game was, in all honesty, out of reach. But with the whole fourth quarter still to play when they got the ball back, there was a chance to build something and see what they could get going and possibly get some momentum before next Friday's matchup against Youngker, which will be huge for this team as they'll look to make the playoffs. Probably their best drive of the night because they were able to just consistently move the ball on the ground and really eat up yardage.
Jones is in there again. They'll go for 2. Alvarez rolls to his right, throws it, and it is complete to the tight end, Austin McCulley. McCulley gets the 2-point conversion. And so with 5 minutes and 52 seconds to play in the game, it's now 48-14. Austin McCulley is a pretty good story. He's a converted running back, and when DeAndre Miller broke his hand, the regular tight end, early in the season. They moved McCulley to tight end. They haven't used him much tonight, but he was right there to grab that pass from Alvarez for the 2-point conversion that makes it 48-14 with 5:52 to play. A nice drive by Alvarez against reserves, yes, but they were crisp. They looked like a different team running out of the eye.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was a great attack on the ground. They did the bulk of their work while rushing the football, and then were able to set it up so well with the pass over the top.
Jason Bell with the 30-yard grab down to the 5-yard line, set up that score by Tari Jones. Well, now Liberty having trouble getting the correct 11 players into the game, as Brandon Grabowski now dashes over to the sideline to get some instruction from Coach Bobby Barnes. See if he kicks it deep or tries to pooch it. Grabowski will hit it low. Caught at the 12-yard line by Noriega. Oh no, it's Akeem Cottrell. Cottrell is finally going to be dragged down at the 35-yard line. Akeem Cottrell, senior wide receiver, with a big return, gets Liberty inside the 35-yard line of Buckeye.
He was a step away from breaking that one for a touchdown. It was only the fact that somebody was able to grab onto the back of his jersey and hold on to that number 2 for dear life that he was brought down. And one of the reserve seniors making a big impact on senior night for this home Liberty side.
That's when you want to do it. That's what this night's all about. They lead at 48-14. But it is a sophomore at quarterback at the moment, Tyler Rogers. He will keep it himself. He slipped a tackle there and spins forward for a few yards. The initial hit came from DeAndre Miller. But Rogers gets a few yards and keeps the clock running.
Rogers scampering for a 6-yard pickup on that.
We'll call it 6 yards, 2nd and 4, and with 5:10 to go, Rogers still in there with Matt Emeneth as the lone setback. This is Emeneth up the middle, powering his way for the first down and more to about the 20-yard line.
Getting his first carry of the night and converting a first down there, getting about 9 yards on the rush.
Emeneth, the junior, will be back next year. First down at the 20-yard line. I would not expect to see Tyler Rogers throwing the ball too much here on this drive, and we'll give it to Emeneth. Emeneth bursts up the middle and gets to the outside. He cannot, though, get away from Dustin Grabowski, who makes yet another tackle, but not before Emeneth appears to have the first down.
Nice tackle by Grabowski in the open field. That's a tough one to make, especially against a running back who showed elusiveness in getting to the outside, but he's able to bring him down and prevent him from going in.
It is a first down, though. First and goal from the 9. 4 minutes and 22 seconds left of the game. And Liberty's 42-point lead is now 34. If it's working, go with it. Emeneth again up the middle, gets inside the 5. And it'll be 2nd and goal.
Dragging some tacklers with him as he plows down to the 5.
So Emeneth getting a lot of work on this drive.
Yeah, he's been the featured back and able to make the most of his opportunity here in the fourth quarter.
Now Rogers out of the shotgun on 2nd and goal. Emeneth again. This time they were ready for him, and he didn't get much of anything, maybe a yard. Before Daniel Morales brought him down in a bear hug, and it'll be 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. You know, Emmett would like to get the touchdown, but he'd also like to get a breather here at some point, you would think. He is the single setback with Rogers. He will get the call again, and he'll be met right up the middle by the Hawks defense.
They run that play for a second consecutive time after it didn't work on third down, or excuse me, it didn't work on second down. Once again, they try it on third down and still unable to punch it in for the score.
And again, Dustin Grabowski on the stop, as he has been ever present tonight. Did get about a yard down to the 3. It'll be 4th and goal. And rather than kick the field goal and rub salt in the wounds, Tyler Rogers will go back in the shotgun. Emineth again. They fake it to him, and Rogers tries to keep it. He gets close, but he's not there. And Liberty will have the ball back, but they'll be right near their own goal line with 2:24 to play and down 34.
Resulting in a turnover on downs.
So Buckeye able, after falling behind by 42, to go down, score, convert the 2-point, and then obviously they gave up a huge chunk of yards on that drive, getting all the way down inside the 5, but hold strong for 3 consecutive plays and prevent this Liberty team from going in the end zone. So they'll get the ball back at their own 2-yard line.
Akeem Cottrell and Marcus Pollard now are in the defensive backfield.
What happened on this day in Arizona?
1st and 10 from their own 1-yard line. No safer place to have it probably than in Tari Jones's hands, and Jones is out to about the 8-yard line for a gain of 7, so that's promising, but again, time not on their side. They're down 48-14 with 2 minutes and 8 seconds to play in the game. A little more breathing room, though, thanks to Tari Jones, who scored on their last possession. And now it's Ryan Colville in at quarterback. And Colville will give it to the second man through. Burst of speed and a first down for the Hawks of Buckeye. It is Jabril Taylor, the sophomore, gets the call. Ryan Colville, also a sophomore, is getting some PT here in the dying stages of a 48-14 game, but it's Jabril Taylor with the nice run for a first down.
Yeah, big run there. First play we've seen for Jabril Taylor tonight. Able to convert and get a first.
79 seconds left as the handoff again goes to Taylor. Taylor gets to the outside. He may be close to another first down, showing some flashes of the future as we've seen several things that bode well for the future for this Buckeye team. That 5'7", 150-pound sophomore Jabril Taylor with a couple of nice runs, and he gets another first down. Exactly a minute to play, and the clock is running. Ryan Colville will pitch it again to Jabril Taylor. Taylor with a burst of speed, gets to the outside. Look at Jabril Taylor. He steps out of bounds, but he's inside the 40-yard line to the 38. 3 big runs in a row by the diminutive sophomore.
It might be against the backups for this Liberty defense, but nonetheless, Jabril Taylor is impressing in limited action here, getting in there for just the last 2 minutes of the game, and he has made a major impact for this Buckeye team in almost no time at all.
They may not get many more opportunities as we are under 35 seconds to play now, and in fact, Wally Zielinski is going to tell him to reset the game clock.
Taylor ran out of bounds on that play, and I think they started up the clock as if he had been tackled in play.
I don't think anybody on Buckeye is going to complain if they squeeze a couple extra plays out of this, and not sure that the guys in black will mind so much either, as their reserves getting a chance to play on defense. So they've reset the game clock to 45 seconds. And that seems to, now it's 39 seconds. That seems to meet with everyone's approval. 1st and 10 at the Liberty 38. Again, the pitch to Jabril Taylor. Taylor scampers to the outside. He's going to be dragged down from behind first and then finished off with a big hit that may have drawn the flag, a late flag. But a flag nonetheless that may tack some yardage onto the end of that run.
Number 4, Jabril Taylor on that carry. There is a flag on the play.
We'll see.
It is holding against Buckeye.
I know, it's a holding call. The hit was clean at the end of that play, but the hold helped spring Jabril Taylor.
I believe that'll go against Austin McCulley, number 36, who looked like he held on to a Liberty player on the outside as Taylor moved out.
So it was a gain of about 4, but that's going to be negated, and they will put the ball back to the 45-yard line. So not very many more plays left in this one. Backs in the eye behind Ryan Colville. Colville back to throw. Has pressure, gets a great block, but he's taken down. Carlos Mendoza gave him an extra second or so, but that still didn't keep Ryan Colville from being sacked back at the 50.
Tremendous block by Mendoza. The only problem is there were 2 guys coming and only one of him.
Stephen Himes makes the sack, and that may be the final play of this game, and it is. So on senior night, everybody gets into the act for Liberty, and they defeat the Buckeye Hawks by a final count of 48-14. So now, if you're Liberty, AJ, you've got to be pleased that you've got another win. Coach always loves to win, but the things they need to work on before next week include being more crisp, being maybe less aggressive, and definitely being sharper on the offensive side of the ball.
Absolutely, just 1 game left in their regular season, and obviously a 34-point win is nothing to complain about, but at the same time, you want your team playing as disciplined as possible. And you really have to get your act together because they've got just 1 regular season game left. And then it's the postseason where you mess up against a top team and you have no shot.
And if you're the Buckeye Hawks, it's definitely some flashes tonight. Some of the young players, not only Tari Jones, but late in the game, Jabril Taylor, some things maybe to build on. Maybe the playoffs are out of reach for this team this year, but they look like they've got some foundation.
Well, they still have 1 game left, and obviously after losing tonight 48-14, they're going to have to do something exceptional next week if they're going to look to make the playoffs and probably get a few things to bounce in their favor on top of that. But you know what? They showed promise in the 4th quarter. Team was down 42 points and could have easily just thrown in the towel, but they continued playing, and like you said, they've got a lot to build on for the future.
And so with that, we say goodnight from Liberty High School in Peoria, Arizona. Our final score, the Liberty Lions 48, the Buckeye Hawks 14. The Lions remain undefeated. They're now 9-0, and they'll close out the regular season next Friday at Desert Edge. The Hawks fall to 3-6 and finish up next week at Yunker. For AJ Sturman and our entire IBN crew, including videographer Craig Maynard and producer Sergeant Malik Robinson, this is Ken Tomash thanking you so much for watching. This has been the Arizona High School Football On-Demand video series on the IBN Sports Broadcasting Network. The final again, Liberty 48, Buckeye 14. Good night from Peoria, Arizona.